Hello students. Today we are going to study about nutrition in plants, and in this we will study about nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and the process of photosynthesis, and along with that we are going to understand conditions that are necessary for photosynthesis. So let's move ahead. Now, dear students, we have studied about the non-living things and living things in previous classes. These non-living things and living things, they are having many differences among them, and you have studied them very nicely. We know that living things can grow, living things can move, while non-living things do not grow. They do not move. They do not respire. So here we are going to study about the living things and how they are growing or move. So let's move ahead. So, dear students, here living things and non-living things, they are having difference that living things have life while non-living things have do not have life, and living things can grow, respire, respond, etc. And living things can do all these things by maintaining their characters with the help of energy. And this energy they get from food. So, dear students, we can see here different types of living things that they are getting their food from their surroundings. This is mushroom, this is fungus, and it is getting its food by absorbing the nutrients. Here we are having one little turtle and it's going to eat the strawberry. Now here you can see we are having a big tree. Do you know how this big tree getting their food? They are getting their food with the help of light and components like carbon dioxide and water. Then here we are having one rhinoceros. This rhinoceros is eating these leaves and getting energy from them. At the same time, we are having few microorganisms over here, and these microorganisms will get food from their surrounding. So here the process by which food is taken in by an organism and used by its body is known as nutrition. So dear students, all the living things get energy with the help of nutrition, and this nutrition can be of different types. Okay, so let's move ahead. Dear students, when we are studying about nutrition in plants, plants show two types of ways by which they get their nutrition. The first type is called as autotrophic nutrition, while second type is called as heterotrophic nutrition. So, dear students, autotrophic nutrition uses photo. Photo means light. So, it is called as photoautotropic nutrition, and in this the process used is called as photosynthesis. In previous classes you must have heard that plant get their food from sunlight energy, and for this they use carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So we will study about this in further few minutes. Now, the second type of nutrition in plants is called as heterotrophic nutrition, and it shows again different types. The first type is parasitic plants. The second type is saprophytic plants. Then the third point is third type of plants is insectivorous plants, and next is symbiotic plants. We will study about heterotrophic nutrition and all these four types of heterotrophic nutrition in detail in next session. So dear students, let's move ahead with photosynthesis. So here, dear students, we are having this photosynthesis method which is given to us by Charles Reed Barnes. This is one scientist, and for first time he used this term or this name called as photosynthesis in the year of 1893. What he told us? He told us that this photosynthesis process is taking place in plants. Plants take in carbon dioxide in presence of light and chlorophyll, and from this carbon dioxide, that is CO2, they will produce sugar and oxygen. So here, students, you have to understand that plants are getting their food in the form of sugar, and for this they are using sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, etc. And along with sugar, they will produce oxygen. Now their food is sugar, and this food, that is sugar, they are going to store in the form of starch. That is, many sugar molecules are coming together and forming a big molecule that is called as starch. So students, now we want to write the reaction of photosynthesis. So how will we write it? So here we can write photosynthesis reaction in this way. Here we are having carbon dioxide and water which are reacting with each other, and they are reacting in presence of light and chloroplast, and they will give us sugar and oxygen. So this is called as photosynthesis reaction. So when we are understanding all these things, how can we define photosynthesis? So the definition of photosynthesis is the process of using energy of light, that is sunlight, to convert water and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen is called as photosynthesis. So in this way, dear students, we have studied the reaction of photosynthesis. Now we need to understand what all conditions or what all things are necessary for photosynthesis reaction. So my dear students, here are the things that are necessary for the photosynthesis. The first is green pigment, that is chlorophyll. Then we need light and carbon dioxide, and along with this we need water too. So how these all things are available for the plants? So let's study about it. First of all, we will study about chlorophyll. Chlorophylls are usually present in leaves of plants, and in their cells they are having chloroplast. So inside this chloroplast, chlorophylls are present. So here you can see one diagram of plant cell, and inside this plant cell we are having chloroplast which is of green color. And why this chloroplast is of green color? Because it is having chlorophyll in it. So students, the first condition necessary for photosynthesis is green pigment chlorophyll, which is present inside the chloroplast, which is present inside the plant cell. Now the second condition, that is light. This green pigment, which is called as chlorophyll, it absorbs the light of sun, and in this way plants get light too. Then we are having third condition, that is carbon dioxide. So how do plants get carbon dioxide? Plants have developed one mechanism to absorb the carbon dioxide, and they are having one part in them which is called as stomata, and this stomata absorbs the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is present in atmosphere, and this stomata is having small opening over here in it, and through this opening stomata will absorb the carbon dioxide. These stomata, they are present on the lower surface of leaves. Lower surface means the surface of leaves which is facing to soil. So here these small pores of stomata, they are guarded by the guard cells. These two curved cells, they are called as guard cells, and with the help of these cells, this opening or this pore which is present at center, it will absorb the carbon dioxide from atmosphere. Then we are having the fourth condition, that is water. So plants are getting water from their root system, and this root system will absorb water from soil. The root system of plants is having primary root, then secondary root, then tertiary root and rootlets. And on these rootlets, they are having root hair. Root hair. And in this root hair, what happens? They work to absorb the water. And this water, after absorption, will be transported to the plant body through xylem. So, in this way, here we are having root hair structure which is present in plants on their root system. So here all these conditions have got fulfilled. Now what happens? By using all these four components are used by plants, and food in the form of glucose is formed, and this food will be transported to plant body through the phloem. Xylem and phloem, these are the two components that are going to transport food and water. Students, always remember that we are using this xylem for conduction of water and phloem for conduction or transportation of food material in the plant body. So dear students, now we have studied about the autotrophic mode of nutrition in plants, in which we studied photosynthesis and the conditions necessary for photosynthesis. Now, in next session, we will be studying about heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Until then, take care. Thank you, dear students.